Hello, YouTube land, and welcome to this special episode of the Get In and Get Out Nintendo podcast, Super Bowl edition. I am your host, Dantes, and of course, joining me like always, Caleones. How you doing, Caleones?
Hey, how you doing, Dantes? How you doing, everybody? And well, it's not really the Super Bowl edition because we're not going to be talking about the game. We're not going to be playing highlights or anything. Right now, the game is a snooze fest. It is tied 3-3 in the fourth quarter, so we haven't really missed anything. I haven't seen anything from the game. Have you seen anything from the game, Dantes?
Nope, don't care. Don't want to see the Patriots at all. So, and Anthony the Loser, thank you for joining us tonight on Super Bowl edition. Who wants to watch a crappy game where you can watch these two a-holes at a be themselves, I guess. Act a fool. Anyway, let's do that rigmarole quickly so we can start the show because we are a little bit behind time. So I want to welcome everybody to the Get In and Get Out Nintendo podcast episode 79 right here at the Force In Unison gaming channel. Please remember to subscribe, like, comment, and hit that bell so you can make these two crazy MFs happy. Also, remember, you can get this podcast on SoundCloud and iTunes for free. Rate us over there so you can show some love. Also, go to the description box below so you can see the full channel schedule. Also, Facebook page at Force In Unison Gaming. And finally, and Dantes says finally, go to forceinunison.wordpress.com and give some clicks and love to my boy Caleones. With all that said, are you ready? I said, are you ready? For the no one in attendance. And I don't know how many people watching around the world. Let's get ready for Reggie's hot topic of the week.
My body is ready.
My body is ready, and Caleones, take it away with the first hot topic.
Well, it was actually a pretty eventful week when it comes to Nintendo news and everything in between. So, we had the forecast, the quarter 3 forecast for Nintendo, of course. Yeah, those quarter 3 forecasts was in relation to their sales from October to December, and of course, it was talking about how they did, or specifically how Super Smash Bros. Ultimate did during the holiday season. So there was a pretty good surprises, other disappointing announcements as well. So anything and everything in between, and it's one of those things where it does give us quite a few topics to talk about. So going with the first one, and this is the other one that is kind of like all over the place. Even we have some quote unquote insiders again on Twitter talking about this, but it actually came from a pretty big publication. So the rumor is that in 2019 we will indeed see the Switch Mini being announced and coming out. For the masses, and also specifically
What is up, the
Nintendo.
Mute 2.0? Welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing? The Mew 2.0. Hello, welcome. But yes, Dantes. About this is something that we have talked about before. How believable it is, and do you think this is the right time for Nintendo to come out with the Switch Mini?
So, I think, honestly, because this is Nintendo and Nintendo doesn't do things that make sense, I believe that this would probably be Nintendo's move instead of a Switch Pro, which is what the hardcore gamers want. But you have to understand about it in a different scenario is it's about getting to market penetration. Sounds awful, the word that I said, but let me explain what I'm trying to say.
Yes, I saw a smirk on your face.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
market penetration means that at first, typically, who buys your console are the hardcore gamers, typically. Then there's a point where you start getting the casuals. We call the casuals start buying the console because it became big enough. Then people are saying, you need to get this system, right? Happened with the PlayStation. And when I mean casuals, I don't mean the casuals that we saw in the Wii generation. I mean the casual that could buy, give you an example, a PlayStation 4 to play 2 games in the year, Call of Duty, and Battlefield, to give you an example. They only buy 2 games, same franchise, could be Fortnite, could be something to that extent. They just have the console for 1 or 2 specific games that they play. Those are what I call the casuals now, okay? So, what Nintendo's looking for is they feel if they can expand the reach of the Switch, they can sell more software. It's a pure and simple math. The more consoles that you have out there, the more of chance you get to by software. I hate the term consistently about attach rate. This is a stupid term. It is dumb. Of course, your attach rate is going to go lower if you have so many consoles out there. Example, the PlayStation. They have so many consoles, close to 100 million, that your attach rate starts looking low. But Sony, if you look at it, is the top seller, makes more money than Microsoft and Nintendo because they have the more consoles out there, because they sell the more software, which I always say software is king. So Nintendo, this generation, is looking phenomenal. The way they've been selling software, the record-breaking exclusives. Also, they're selling more indie, third-party support. Nintendo fans has finally stepped out of the shadow and supported games that are not Nintendo games. With Nintendo fans had an awful reputation for that. So finally, they're buying other type of games, which is good. So now Nintendo thinks, how can I get to the market, expand the market more? And it's to make it cheaper. Every console goes through this. The problem is that I see with this strategy is that I would have expected Nintendo to give me the Pro and then lower the price of the vanilla Nintendo Switch, like the PlayStation and Xbox this did this generation. That ain't gonna happen. So Nintendo again is always different from the others, which is fine. But that's what Nintendo's thought process is. So that's why I believe this is more believable than the Pro. Did I want the Pro? I prefer the Pro. But yeah, I could see them just making a mini, no dock, and then sell the sucker for $200. And then if you want a dock, then you can buy the dock separately. They're just trying to reduce the price. The console is already treated mostly as like a handheld by a lot of Nintendo fans. I treat it more of like a console. That's the funny part. But I have to give credit where credit's due, that the system is so well designed that I can take a game like Smash out there when I'm out, like taking a flight and play a lot of Smash so I don't get bored. So again, that's the beautiful part of the Nintendo. So you gotta get shortchanged if you buy this cheaper console with no dock. But then if you desire to buy the dock, fine. But then Nintendo's thinking, oh, hitting more the kids market. Parents just buy the console. It's portable. They just play it portable. Kids won't care if they have to dock it or not. So I understand the strategy. I am not blaming it. If it's real, I think it's real. Honestly, I think it's more real than the Pro. But the fan in me would have wished and would have preferred a Pro Nintendo Switch console. But we shall see if we get something to that extent in the future. Any thoughts, Caleones?
Well, I'm gonna say that I think that you are wrong. I think that releasing the Switch Mini now is the perfect scenario for Nintendo. Releasing the Switch Pro, one is I mean, they're gonna run the risk that they're not gonna be making any money off of a Switch Pro unit if it's gonna be with the increase, like screen, battery, and everything. And I believe that if they do anything right now, it's gonna be kind of like a rework of their current Nintendo Switch system, which, like I said, it's probably gonna have a better display. It's going to have better battery life, but you're not really going to be expecting any, to have 8 gigs of RAM on the inside or being able to output your 4K or things like that. So they're not going to be doing that right now because they're not going to be making any money off of a Switch Pro unit at this time. With the Switch Mini, you got to think about the games that Nintendo has already released and the games that are going to be releasing this year. So you have games like Yoshi's Crafted World. You have the Fire Emblem, Tree Houses. You have the Animal Crossing game. You have the Pokemon Generation 8. So those are games that they have, especially the Pokemon and the Animal Crossing, they have mass appeal when it comes to the handheld crowd. Fire Emblem is being selling between like 2 to 4 million copies on the 3DS, and that's the handheld crowd. So by going with a Switch Mini, what you're doing is you're playing to the handheld crowd that is going to be picking up those games, but at the same time, in families like mine, I have 2 Nintendo Switch units at their house. If they come up with a Switch Mini, I think that's going to be perfect for my son to have a Switch Mini unit, because he doesn't necessarily play too much on the TV. He's always, most of the time going with the handheld, carrying it with him. A Switch Mini is going to go in his pocket, so he's going to be able to, carry it better. And for someone like me, if we're going to be on the go, yes, I love the screen, but maybe portability wise, or you're already carrying other devices like your laptop, computer, and whatever. So a Switch Mini is going to go better in there when you're carrying things. So, and you already mentioned one thing, which is it was the perfect one, because with the Switch Mini, they don't need to include a dock with the system. They don't really need to include the detachable Joy-Cons. It can be Joy-Cons that are already on the system itself, so you cannot detach and use them. If you want Joy-Cons to
I
use,
don't like that idea.
then you can purchase. Yeah, but I mean, what are they gonna lose? So they're not gonna be able to play the amazing 1, 2, 3 Switch. So that's one game that they're not gonna be able to play, and maybe one or two other games.
Okay.
So it's they don't need to have the Joy-Cons detachable. They can just keep on the system, keep it simple, and you can probably sell it as low as either 199 or 179.99. So for a system like that. So I believe that is the right approach. That is the one that you go out with now. And when maybe next year when you come out with like a Switch Pro, then that's when you can release a Switch Pro at a 299 price tag, and then lower the price of the current Switch unit, and then you have three models: Switch Pro at $300, the normal Switch at $250, and then the Switch Mini anywhere in between $180 to $200. So I think that's what they should be doing, and I think that's the right approach to take.
Okay. So first, hello Natty. Caleones, you're the one who plays Splatoon. Which one? Pancakes or waffles?
Hey, how you doing, Nari Murillo? I'm probably gonna go with pancakes. I think pancakes, but there's a pretty cool song about pancakes and waffles. So it can, I mean, you can go either or. You can't really go wrong with them. So either
Okay.
way, I can eat at Waffle House or IHOP. I don't have a problem with that.
So let's start first with a couple of things you said. You said I stated my reasoning why I think Nintendo is doing it. I'm not taking a shot specifically at how they're doing it. I think they could easily save the R&D and should have made a Pro and then just come with the vanilla Switch and just take out the dock and make it cheaper. That's just my opinion. Now, I don't like the idea about having a mini that it just has the controllers with it, because then you can take some games away that you could be playing with the original, the original Switch. They can still make it small. They can still take it out of the dock. They can even make Joy-Cons cheaper. I don't know. Probably at that point they can find a way, and that's how they will cut the price. But third, I understand what the reasoning why they're doing it. They're just trying to penetrate the market even harder and making it targeted to kids. Like I stated, it's the way to go. I am not denying. I am not making money or from them. I don't care what Nintendo decides to do, but they're gonna make a lot of money. What I care is about me, because I'm a selfish prick, and what I wanted is a Nintendo Switch Pro. That's me. But I understand where they're coming from. It's not dumb. It's possible, and it's way more realistic, in my opinion, this happening than a Pro, honestly.
Well, all I'm saying is that I would much rather have a Switch Pro next year instead of this year, because if they release it next year, there's a possibility that the improvement can be a lot better than if they were to do it right now, because parts become cheaper, they become smaller, and they could, in theory, try to up the RAM, up the resolution, up the battery life with a Switch Pro next year. And you know how Nintendo is. They do not like to sell systems at a loss. They don't like to sell systems where they're going to be losing money, because part of selling systems for them is, like getting a profit out of it. Yes, they get profits by selling software, but they also, for the most part, they get, they have a profit by selling systems, unlike PlayStation or Sony and Microsoft, where they're not afraid to sell systems at a loss. Nintendo, by being a smaller company, they can't really take those risks like those bigger companies. So that's why they're probably just going to wait until next year so they can have a Switch Pro, and they can make it better, of course, than what they have right now, but also cheaper.
Okay. Let's move on to the next piece of news. Caleones, can you just mix them? I'm going to let you talk about all the mini news, all the sales, everything, and then we can target whatever we want. So go ahead, Caleones, and start laying out the roadmap for the next section.
Okay, so we're talking about the sales, of course. We are starting with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and how big it sold. So, just to give you some perspective, Super Smash Bros. In the US, they sold over 5 million units. not only did they sell 5 million units in the US, but when Nintendo gave their quarter 3 numbers for October through December, and of course Smash Bros. Released on December 7th, so that's taking all the sales from the 7th of December until the 31st of December, which is not even a month. It's probably like 25 days or so. Yep. They ended up selling 12.08 million copies, making it the second best-selling Smash Bros. Game in less than a month. And I believe the biggest selling one, which is Brawl on the Wii, is sold a little over 13 million. So I don't know, like it's already February 3rd. So probably by now it's already outsold. And making it not only the biggest selling Smash Bros. Game ever, but also the best selling fighting game of all time. So that was pretty impressive.
Yep. Keep going. Well, we'll target them all together.
Okay, going with the next one, and this is all talking about the sales. So of course, Nintendo. They stated that from April to December, they ended up shipping 14.49 million units. Not only that, they ended up shipping for the whole year, or so far for this year. Talking about January to December, 17.4 million Nintendo Switch units. But the downside to this is that it seems like they had not so great sales when it came to the second quarter of 2018, because they actually lowered their sales forecast for the fiscal year 2018, which ends on March 31st. They lowered it from 20 million units down to 17 million units. So what did this do? So by lowering the forecast, this actually made the Nintendo stock fall 9.3%. So this actually, like on the investors there, like losing their minds because they, Nintendo stated they were going to sell X amount. They had to lower it. But I mean, Dantes, don't just take my word for it, but you can say like 17 million units in 1 year. That's pretty impressive, right? I think the only fault was Nintendo going with some unrealistic numbers, which it actually really hurt the Nintendo Labo. Didn't really move units like it was supposed to, because that was a big game for the second quarter, and it kind of like underperformed. So that's the quarter that really hurt them. But 17 million units is still impressive. The 9.3 percentage decrease on their stock. Investors, just go ahead and buy it up again, because it is going to go up anyways. But continuing with this is that so far in the lifetime of the Switch, since it released on March 3rd, 2017, is sold or shipped 32.27 million units. And that's pretty much it when it comes to the sales, Dante. So what do you have to say about all those numbers?
Okay, so let's start with Smash first. So Smash is a juggernaut. I can't deny that. It is, and again, it sucks for me to be right. I stated before the sales came out that IP for Smash, it's the biggest Nintendo IP. Now, I never foresaw how big it became. I saw the hype and I saw how big it was, but I never expected it to become the juggernaut that the Halos used to be in the old days for exclusives, right? That's a victory for itself, and it's a damn good game. I'm not denying. I understand it now finally, where I finally put the time and became okay a Smash player. I have to say that it is a really good game, entertaining game. A lot of stuff was added to the game, so it is not a game that doesn't have content. It has a lot of fighters. The World of Light is entertaining enough to keep you engaged. If you're OCD like me, you also have the spirits. If you're a collector, you also have the online, which is the fun part too, for fighting other players online. So, which I did get all my achievements for online the other day. But anyway, what I'm saying is Smash deserves it, pure and simple. Let's start there. Anything to add about Smash, Caleones?
No, I just want to go specifically with the numbers. So I just looked it up here. Super Smash Bros. Brawl for the Wii, it ended up selling 13.29 million units, and that's on a system that sold 101 million in its lifetime. The Nintendo Switch right now shipping over 32 million units, and Smash Ultimate being at 12.08, it's an extremely big achievement, and you would expect that within the next month or so, if it hasn't already, it's going to end up surpassing the sales of the Wii game. So that's pretty big. And like I said, it's going to end up being the biggest selling fighting game of all time. So that in itself is an achievement.
Yep. Yep. Agreed. Next, I'm gonna go with the talk about the sales. So why the stock went down, and this is what I do not understand sometimes. With again, I don't own stock, so who cares? But uh, Nintendo sold the numbers. They sold really well. Again, I'm sorry that I was right again, but I stated that Nintendo was gonna sell at most 17 to 18 million. Because it was unrealistic expectation. And me as an outsider, if I can see that, I just don't get why Nintendo put themselves in that corner by saying that they were going to hit the 20 million mark. Even the PlayStation has not hit the 20 million mark, and that console is worldwide appeal compared to the Switch. Even though, and that news is not there, but I want to give props to the Switch. They did put up a fight where PlayStation sold 17.7 and Switch sold 17.4 during the year of 2018. So again, that is props to the Switch. That shows you that it's sold well. I never expected to be close worldwide. I knew that Switch owns Japan. I knew US was gonna be close, but honestly, that one I failed. I thought Sony was gonna take the USA. So again, props for the Switch for that. So again, it's selling well. It's selling the typical 17 to 18 million that we have seen from PlayStation during the many years that they have sold as of now. So that was where my head was, why the reasoning I was saying it was going to land like that, because that's realistic. So honestly, if there's someone to blame, even though I don't understand the guys who own the stock and why they sold quickly when Nintendo showed promising number and they're making a lot of money, Nintendo maybe put themselves in that boat by saying that they were going to hit the 20 million mark. They wanted to hit an aggressive target, but it came and bought him in the ass. Anything to add about that specifically, Caleones?
I don't know. It kind of feels like the same reasoning why they showed the like you said, the JPEG of Metroid Prime 4 at E3 when they really hadn't. It seems like they hadn't even started working on the game, or if they had, it was early on where they didn't have anything to show. So I think this is Nintendo kind of like overreacting at first instead of just like taking their time. Yes, I know what happened during the Wii U era, and I know that they want to make sure that they assure people that the same thing's not going to happen with the Switch. But if they had announced that they were expecting to sell 15 million units and then they ended up announcing 17 million, then that's a big improvement. Investors, instead of going down like 9%, they would have been going over. So that's what what they need to do better. I don't know who's making those decisions on the announcement, but if they were to fix those things, something like 17 million units, which is impressive, would not be taken as a negative like they did here.
Yep. I don't get it, but it's all good. Nintendo's selling well, and they're making money. At least, even though their stock went down, and that's going to happen, that's normal, the ups and downs of stock. Even though it went down, Nintendo is healthy again. We don't want to see Nintendo, to clarify. I never want to see Nintendo ever in a spot like the Wii U. We need Nintendo. Honestly, to tell you the truth, there's a high possibility that the last console I'll be playing after the future of gaming is the Nintendo console, because I bet you Xbox and Sony's just gonna go full digital at some point, or streaming at some point. But anyway, going back, let's go back now to what else? We tackle everything on sales. What's the next one? Oh, 32 million consoles sold, already overpassing, taking a couple of big consoles over it. GameCube, N64. You know what? Honestly, and there's a lot of piece of news. Maybe I should have added to there, where in the UK, Nintendo sold more software than Microsoft. So I would say, since, again, everybody's putting the Switch on this generation, so I don't know why, but that's fine. That's how people made it. It is what it is. That then I would say that the Switch will surpass the Xbox before, because the estimate right now for the Xbox, and Microsoft stopped giving numbers, is at 41 million consoles sold. So I would say that I could foresee Nintendo overpassing the Xbox in the next year and a half for sure, and then the Xbox would end up in third place. So from a console that just came out 2 years ago. So with this trajectory that Nintendo Switch is going, I could foresee, and I may miss this, I said that the Switch was going to sell around the same as DS numbers, which is around 70 to 80 million. I still stand by my prediction. That's going to be a long while before we figure that out. But they're selling well enough, and with the Switch Mini, you could possibly see them hitting the 100 million mark if they give a good price. So it is doable. It is not out of the state of the Switch not getting there. I still think that the 80 million is realistic because I think the Switch is going to last too short of a generation because Nintendo's will be forced to at least keep up somewhat to the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox 2 or whatever it's called. They have to throw something faster than expected. So honestly, this console generation for the Switch is going to be shorter than typical console generation, in my opinion. I may be wrong. I'm just saying that in my opinion, that could happen. And that's the reason why they're not going to make the $100 million. So again, congratulations, Nintendo, 32 million. As of now, it's a great number. And I think you will be overtaking the Xbox pretty soon.
Yeah, and I mean that's like I said, that's a pretty big achievement. They still have 3 more months to count towards the first official, the second year of the system. So that'll be January, February, or March. So by March 31st, that's when the second year or fiscal year ends. So that's where we'll have the final numbers of how much they sold during their 2 years. I want to say really quick hi to PSV Xbox. Hey, how you doing? And as far as sales. What the Nintendo Switch ended up doing is they surpassed the Atari 2600, which sold 30 million units, and the Sega Genesis, which sold 75 million. The next one up is the Nintendo 64 at 32.93 million. So it's safe to say that before the second year of the Switch is over, it would have already surpassed the Nintendo 64. So again, congratulations, Nintendo. You are doing great with the system. Just make sure that you continue to do what it seems like you're going to be doing this year, which is continuing to provide software, which is going to entice people to keep buying the system. Going over with the next one, and this is talking about how the Xbox Live is set to further connect players on the Nintendo Switch, Android, and iOS.
Isn't that one on Hot Topics or Newsbreak?
Well, I don't know if it's on Hot Topics, but it seems like it may be a cut up from here. So, do you want to use it as a hot topic, or do you want to go ahead and break to the news burst?
I don't remember. I don't remember what I had it. So. You guys are seeing behind the scenes. No, that's Newsburst. So let's go to Onuma's Newsburst. Go ahead, Caleones, with the first piece of news for Newsburst.
Okay, so I guess we're moving away from main topics, going to the news burst, and this one is that the Xbox Live is set to further connect players on Nintendo Switch, Android, and iOS. So what are they going to be doing? And this is coming from an article from My Nintendo News. They're saying that there's going to be a developer session this year at the Gamers Developers Conference. It's going to be a new update for the cross-platform developer kits for Xbox Live, where you're going to be able to not only connect your Xbox players, but you're going to be connecting to the Android, iOS, and Nintendo Switch platform, and quote unquote, you will be able to have your achievements, clubs, friend lists, and more while on the move, and could pick up some experiences where you left off. So one of the interesting things about this is that, well, I guess it was a couple of days ago, Boomer, he sent me a screenshot of his of his Xbox One, and he was looking at his friends list. And the cool thing about it is that on the friend list, my son, he was playing Minecraft, and not only was he able to see my son connected to the Xbox, but it would say Nintendo Switch Minecraft on the bottom and show the Xbox ID on it, and that's him on his Xbox, and my son connected to the Nintendo Switch. So even though it was two completely different platforms, but they're able to talk to each other and see themselves like that. So Of course, this is what we've always been talking about. When it comes to the cross-platform and the consoles being able to talk to one another. Yes, it is a business, and yes, certain companies make decisions not to do that because it's better for people to buy their console instead of the other one. So it is a business and it makes sense. But still, that is seems to be the future that we're headed on, and it seems like Microsoft will be expanding that even further with Xbox Live. So is that a good thing, Dantes?
First, Mind Pro, what is up? Welcome to the string. And a quick summary. We already talked about it, but a couple of records. The Switch broke. I mean, they already had 32 million. They sold over 17 million in the year. Smash Bros. Sold over 12 million. So, I mean, sales, really good. And I explain why I think Smash deserves it. Smash is a really damn good game. So, there's no doubt about it. I officially have docked like 135 hours into the game. That's RPG level of hours. But finally, I have moved on. I am putting it down. I started playing Resident Evil 2, which I have to say, if you guys haven't played it, the game is fire. Go play it. There was something magical about Resident Evil 2, the original. And I remember when I played it, I thought the game was great. I did everything on that game. And now playing the remake, even though there's things that remind you of the game, there's things that is completely new and different. So it's good. Play Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, but you also gotta say why it is that you're moving on to play other games because you pretty much have like attained all the achievements from Smash Bros.
Well, I'm
So
missing just one achievement, and I'm leaving that one for later when all the characters. And the only achievement is beating. I don't know if you guys remember on World of Light, you have to beat light and darkness at the same time with one stuck without losing. So I haven't done that one. That's the only achievement that I'm missing to do. Everything else has been completed. So once I did the online achievements, it was like, should I keep playing? It's fun to keep playing online, or should I leave it for later and maybe pick it up again? I know I'm gonna be rusty when I return to it, but maybe me and Caleones, we keep playing on Saturdays. Keep me at least something warm until the DLC drops, and maybe if they drop Rex, I'm coming back.
well, and my other question would be, if not for having those achievements or for the system or for the game, do you think you would have already spent 135 hours on the game if you didn't have those achievements specified, like
maybe
what it was?
less. Would probably less. I would say less, but I still would have spent a lot of hours because the game is just damn fun, and I got hooked, right? So I would say yes, the achievements help. I'm not denying. I'm achievement whore. That's what happens. So Nintendo, you need to put achievements. Honestly, sucks that you don't put them. But anyway, going back to Newsburst, where we were talking about Xbox. Just quickly, I'm just gonna say, be careful what you wish for, Nintendo fans. Just saying. That's the only thing I'm saying. Keep going, Kari.
Okay, well, I'm gonna take a quick break from the news break. I'm gonna talk about another news real quick. This is coming from the Indie Gamer Chick, and on a tweet that was released, I guess an hour or so ago, or probably even less, she said, "Guys, if I could tell you all the stuff I know is coming, I wouldn't. I can't. But I can say a feature Nintendo fans have waited a long time for is coming down the pipeline. I know for sure it is." And going over to a previous tweet, she said, "For those itching, but would it be itching? Would it be about lack of achievements in Switch? Well, stay tuned." So the rumors are that achievements are coming over
It's
to the
gonna
Nintendo
suck
Switch.
because I've done so much shit on other games that if they put achievements on those games, I'm gonna be pissed. But anyway,
Well, I mean, hopefully they'll go by the save data when you already have saved, and then you'll see all those achievements like
they're not happening
popping
on
up.
PlayStation. Trust me.
Well, we'll see.
Trust me.
Hopefully Nintendo won't make you play another 135 hours of Smash.
Yeah, I killed him. Anyway, moving on. Caleones, go ahead with the next news.
Okay, and the next piece of news, Mind Pro, he already spoiled it. We're gonna talk about Piranha Plant, but he had to like say it on there, saying that he already mains the Piranha Plant. But Piranha Plant actually became available on February 2nd, and it
I
was out
hate
of
guys that
nowhere.
use Piranha Plant.
Yeah, I mean, it was out of nowhere. Like that, it just you knew that it was gonna come after the 31st. You thought that it was gonna be maybe like part of a Nintendo Direct announcement or whatever. But you know what? Nintendo hates all of you. They're not going to be making any Nintendo Directs just because you ask. So they just decided to release this piece of news out of nowhere. And yes, Piranha Plant is already available. If you haven't downloaded it, do the update so you can have it. And yes, like Dantes said, we've already faced people using Piranha Plant, and it is no joke. It has a great recovery. It has attacks, that are, I mean, it can be pretty far away from you. It can still get you, and that, like Smash, Final Smash, it can get you pretty quick on those cages, swing you
Final
around,
Smash
and
sucks, but it is
is
what
hard to
main
escape for it. Come
character.
on.
It is, I think, a little bit overpowered. So nerf him. Anyway, go ahead, Carlos, with the next one.
Okay, next piece of news is that Nintendo is quote unquote preparing at least one unannounced Switch game that fans will be delighted to know. They haven't really said anything, but this is from Takashi Mochizuki. He's actually from the Wall Street Journal. He said that Nintendo said it is preparing at least one unannounced title for Switch in fiscal year 19, April onward, that fans would be delighted to know. What would that be? He stated, reply your thoughts, please. So what do you think that if you had to guess a game that Nintendo's preparing that fans are going to be happy about, what game do you think that is?
Pikmin 4. No. Uh, I don't know. I I wouldn't mind a 2D Zelda, and I like those a lot. Uh, would love a Pikmin 4. I don't know what to say because Nintendo honestly has done a such. I think this is the best Nintendo has done managing their portfolio. Way better. Aside from the Metroid Prime issue, everything has I think well managed. So they already announced my Luigi's Mansion 3, so that's the game that I'm looking forward the most this year from the Switch. I'm planning to give a shot finally to Fire Emblem because again everybody talk about Fire Emblem, so I was just waiting. The 3DS graphics did not call me like, oh my god, I want to play this game. I really hoping for like a really well made AAA type of Fire Emblem game, right?
Okay. You got to do two things first. First, you got to say AAA again the right way.
AAA. I can't do it right
And
now.
second, you got to say hi to the next person on the chat.
What's up? It's that guy 6969. Welcome to the stream. So anyway, I'm that's the two games that I'm looking forward the most. We shall see how the new Pokemon turns out. So again, Nintendo has some good games coming this year. Maybe they'll drop my my Xenoblade Chronicles re-release, we shall see. I don't know. But that's Zelda Breath of Zelda. Luigi's Mansion is the game that I'm looking forward the most. I wouldn't mind a Pikmin 4. That would complete my year for me. And I know for Caleones, it would be a Star Fox, a well-made Star Fox game if possible. But anyway, that's my dream. Caleones, what would you like to see?
Okay, so this is what we already know. It's an unannounced game, so it's not gonna be Bayonetta 3. It's not gonna be Metro Prime 4. It's not gonna be Luigi's Mansion, Animal Crossing, Yoshi, Fire Emblem. It's not gonna be Town or the new Pokemon. It's not gonna be any of those. Pikmin 4 is one that it seems like every single year for like the past 4 years, everybody is saying, "Oh, it is coming. It is almost done. The game is almost finished." Shigeru Miyamoto, he's done with the development. They're finally going to announce it this year, the next, and we don't know where it is. But it seems like Nintendo was pretty serious with that game because not only have they released three, games on the series, but they also had the shorts with the character, which I mean, the shorts were actually pretty well done. I thought that maybe they were gonna try to do those shorts on like the Cartoon Network or Disney Channel or something like that. They were gonna expand on it, but they never really did, or at least have the Nintendo like Nintendo anime channel where they have the like the Pokemon anime and things like that. Maybe they were gonna have those, but even though that was on the 3DS, they haven't done it for the Switch. But I think I would say that maybe it's finally time for Pikmin 4 to be announced. I believe that one is the way that they're saying it should be a game that they've been working for a while, and that it might even come out this year. So that it would be my expectation as well. Yes, I would love a Star Fox game, but right now, if that was what Retro was working on, Maybe we'll see it this year since they're going to be jumping on Metroid Prime 4. Either way, I'm happy that Retro Studios is on Metroid Prime again. They are the only ones that have ever made Metroid Prime games, and they've done a great job with them. So I'm happy with that. But I think safely Pikmin 4 is kind of like I mean that's probably would be a lot of people's choices of what they're going to be announcing. But if they do, I'll be happy. I'll be picking it up, and I think the title on the Switch would be the best selling one out of any other game on the series.
We Chelsea. Go ahead, guys, with the next one.
Okay, going over with the next piece of news, and this is coming from Nintendo UK. So, the Nintendo Switch software actually does pull ahead of the Xbox One. Of course, when it comes to the UK, Sony is king. But
Well, the last generation Xbox was king, so that's why this news article, to clarify, is impressive because the Xbox owned UK last generation. So.
Okay, so the specific, like news on here, they said that, back in January 2018, Switch only represented 13.1% of all physical game sales in the UK, while in January 2019, it represented 28.1%. In January 2019, for the first time, the Switch has sold more physical titles monthly than the Xbox One. The Switch has been doing better than the Xbox One in terms of value for 6 out of the past 9 months already. So, well, I mean, like you said, this is you clarified that this is actually pretty big news. Xbox was doing better than Sony. At least for the past year, Nintendo has pulled ahead. Hopefully, it'll be something that will continue. But you kind of feel like if any of the three systems are going to be selling physical copies of a game, it probably will be Nintendo. So it's great to hear, but it's not really unexpected. But it's certainly an improvement over the previous year.
Mm-hmm. Okay, go ahead, Carlos, to the next one.
Okay, the next one is that coming from the Nintendo president Shuntaro Furukawa, he stated that Nintendo Switch Online retention is critical and contents will be enhanced throughout the year. What it is exactly that they're going to be expanding on, we don't know, but David Gibson stated in a couple of tweets, he said that Nintendo Online retention is critical, contents will be enhanced throughout the year, and that it was driven by Splatoon 2 and Smash Bros. See an increase in monthly plans. So I believe there was a news that they stated that they already had like 9 million subscribers for the Switch Online. And for those 9 million, it's not the ones that are doing the trial, but the ones that actually bought into either the monthly or the yearly service, be it the individual or the other family plan.
Did I put the news that they have 8 million subscribers right now?
Well, it has more than 8 million subscribers. So yes. Yeah. So I'll go ahead and put them together. So
yeah,
and it's coming also from
since you're talking about it, put them together. That's what I was asking that question.
Yeah.
I thought I put them, but
so the thing is that Nintendo, they know, and this is something that they saw because of the staggering numbers when it came to Sony and the PSN, because they announced that the PlayStation Network actually made more money. Just the PSN, not the games and nothing else. Just the PSN alone for Sony made more money than Nintendo as a whole as a company. So that's how big the networking services are, the online services, the digital purchases, the DLC, and all that stuff. So Nintendo, they said that they're going to be investing on this and making it more enticing for the people to buy into this the service. So Dantes, how can Nintendo make it more enticing? What do you think they need to add to get even more people to buy or to invest money into it, and maybe someday get it close to the level of of profit or profitability that the PSN does for Sony?
I'll keep it short and sweet. Simple. Better games for their I would call it their streaming service or whatever you want to call it. The NES and Super NES, ROMs. Second, better internet is as in, stop with the peer-to-peer, get dedicated service, better features, stuff like that. Just improve the online experience. Experience is number 2. And 3, better deals. Honestly, give them a reason to own it. If I paying for this service, what deals am I getting? Am I getting 20% off, 30% off? Really, the deals are really bad. on the Nintendo Online service. So those three things, better games, better experience, and better deals, I think is what Nintendo needs to do.
Yeah, and this is something that they really can tie into the achievements as well. Because I've always said, like, I would love for Nintendo to have the achievements on the system, but at the same time, to actually reward people for completing those achievements. So if they gave you, I mean, even if it's like 50 gold point, which is like 50 cents for completing the achievements of a game, then people are going to be more enticed not to just buy a game, but to play the game until they finish and attain everything on it. So that would add to the the replayability of a title. So I believe things like that they can go ahead and tie in. Also, continue doing the same thing when you do the physical or the digital purchases. Yes, they give you more gold coins when it comes to the digital versus the physical. But of course, I mean, companies make more money by selling digital because they don't have to produce the card or produce the cartridges, which the cartridges are a lot more expensive than Blu-ray discs. So it is better for Nintendo that if people buy the games digitally instead of physical. So just continue to create those incentives so people continue to buy into the service. But the biggest one of all, just invest on some better servers, like dedicated servers for the game, so we don't have to do the peer-to-peer thing and continue to having disconnects to the point where we're doing a stream of Smash and we just want to end the stream because it just continues to freeze because we get somebody that doesn't have that good of an internet and it's freezing everybody else. So that's, I think, the biggest thing that they need to address first, and they can go from there to do those other things.
Okay, let's go with the next one, Caleones.
Okay, next one is kind of like a fun one because not only of what Nintendo is doing, but also the possibilities that can come out of this. So, of course, Shintaro Furukawa also stated that Nintendo World at Universal Park in Japan will be ready in 2020. Why is that a big deal? Because in 2020, Japan is also going to have the Olympics. So not only having the Olympics and having those athletes, but people that are going to be vacationing over there to go to the Olympics, the Super Nintendo World will be open as well on Universal Studios. So that's going to be an extremely big attraction. Also, aside from that, they stated that the Super Mario movie made by Illumination, which of course Illumination makes the Minion movies and the Despicable Me movies, the movie is aiming for a 2022 release. So Dantes, this is something that we've talked about before. This is how you expand on your IPs and you start to, I mean, even though Mario is kind of like a worldwide icon, but this is how you expand on the Nintendo brand and not just have it as video games. So what do you say of these news?
When they're opening Nintendo World in the US?
They haven't specifically said. It seems like they already started working on, based on some pictures and things like that. But it probably won't be until maybe like 2021, 2022. So they haven't specifically said that. They're probably just waiting until it opens in Japan and see how that goes, so they can take from that and apply it to the other parts.
That sucks. Kind of want it. I want to go. See how Nintendo World does. I'm not going to Japan for it, but I'll be willing to go over here in the States. Second, I was surprised about the date of the Mario Illumination movie. Honestly, I thought that was going to be sooner than that. But, it's fine. Take your time and make it right.
Yeah, I mean, and the other reason why this is okay with them, yes, Nintendo doesn't outright own Pokemon, but they own part of the Pokemon company of Game Freaks, and so we have the Detective Pikachu movie launching this May, and they already said that they already greenlit the sequel, which is going to be either out on 2020 or 2021. So at least that's going to give you two Pokemon movies between 2019 and 2021, and then the Mario movie coming out in 2022. So maybe they can go the Marvel Universe route, release the standalone movies, and then have the big Super Smash Bros. Movie connecting all of them. So I mean, I can dream about that, and you can have Shulk in the movie as well.
That'll be great. We'll see. Go ahead, Karen.
Okay, going with the next piece of news, and this is it was kind of like a big goof when they accidentally leaked it because it just the video release on YouTube, then they removed it, but finally they said that Darksiders War Master Edition will be coming over to the Nintendo Switch on April 2nd. It's not Darksider 3, but it's still the first Darksider movies, and there were some people joking about that. with Darksiders coming over to the system, they're gonna have finally a proper Zelda game on the Switch because the Breath of the Wild is kind of like an open world type game, and this is more like a normal Zelda. But yeah, April 2nd game is gonna be out. Um, and they haven't really said when it comes to the pricing. I don't know what the price is going to be. If it's still going to be regular price, like $60 or less. But still, I've enjoyed Darksiders. That's actually one of my platinums on the PS4. So I had what PS4, actually PS3 or PS4. I don't remember.
PS3. PS3.
PS3, I think it was. But yes, it's one of my platinums. So I played it twice, in hard mode as well. But I had a lot of fun with the game. Joe Madura is the artist. The game looks great, and nice to have it, portably on the Switch. So, are you going to be enticed to play it again, or no?
Nah, I got the Plat 2 on PlayStation 3. We'll see. We'll see. But hey, it's good. The Dark Side is coming to the Switch. Another game to the Switch. But I'm not playing it again. It's a good game though. I did like that a lot, and it is a mature Zelda game for sure. The way the game is structured, the adventure, it is basically a Zelda game. I still haven't played Darksiders 2. I still haven't played Darksiders 3. I don't know. It's so many games right now. We shall see. But go ahead, Caleones, with the next one.
Well, and this is actually the last piece of news for today. Um, Sadly, the Wii Shop channel shut down. It is gone.
Yeah.
You cannot purchase any more Wii games on it. It was great what it lasted. It offered many things, but it is an end of an era. And I'm actually surprised that they didn't shut down the Wii U first instead of the Wii. But still, the Wii Shop channel is gone. Dantes, anything that you want to say about the Wii? Any fun memories of it before you say goodbye?
So this is why I get mad with Nintendo never doing IDs attached to your sales. So everything that if your Wii dies right now, you ain't getting that shit back. You ain't getting it back. That's what sucks about digital distribution. If you don't have a proper system in place, so that makes me more mad than happy. Now, by my luck, I only bought like 2 games in the entire Wii generation. So all my Wii games I bought it physically because I'm a physical guy. And you know what? Now, who's laughing right now? Now, the Wii as a console itself, even though a lot of people gave it crap, and even though a lot of casuals bought the system, if you peer the bullshit out of the system, you're going to find that the game had a lot of good first-party games from Nintendo. Some of the best. 2 Mario Galaxies, which both were fire. Of course, the GOAT, Xenoblade Chronicles 1. Metro Prime 3. Super Smash Bros. The Last Story. A lot of people forget that. Pandora's Tower. Punch Out. Punch freaking Out was on the Wii. People hate it, but I don't. Skyward Sword, like the Zelda game, and Twilight Princess both came to the Switch. Excuse me, to the Wii. So, I don't know what. Oh, Pikmin 2? I think it was, yeah, Pikmin 2. So, a lot of good games from first party from the Wii. Just a lot of people give a shit because Nintendo went into a route that a lot of people hated. You lost even more, in a sense, hardcore third party support because of it. This is where Nintendo decided to not compete with the big boys anymore. So a lot of people see it as like the death of Nintendo. I took it differently. I took it as a different approach, and I like the system. It is not the best Nintendo system, but I would argue that it has some of the best games in the history of Nintendo. As a console, it's not the best, but sometimes games define a console. Then that means that the Wii is a pretty damn good console. So, I don't know. That's my thoughts. Anything to add about the Wii demise or the Wii shop closing?
Well, I want to say, a quick shout out to G. Lewis, for joining us on the chat, Mr. Gomez. And well, about the Wii, it was a great concept when it first came out. It sold like crazy. Everybody picked it up, like kids, parents, grandparents, great great grandparents. Like it seemed like everybody was wanted to put their hands on the game. Sadly, a lot of those people they started and finished with Wii Sports, so they picked it up. They played Wii Sports, and that was about the only play. They didn't really look at
Yeah,
anything
software
else.
sales from Nintendo,
Yeah,
aside from Smash and Galaxy, Zelda sold like crap on during that generation, right? Pigment sold not great. Metroid Prime is not a system seller, guys. It's so great. Uh, I sucks to say this, but it's Nintendo's own fault. But Xenoblade Chronicles could have sold more too if they would have not done the bullshit of GameStop exclusive. So it's sad, but anyway, I don't know. It's a good. I say it's a good console. So.
yeah. I'll say like the only downside to it is it would have lasted longer if they would have made it HD. But somehow, for some reason, they didn't make it HD. If they would have had like at least 720p, just 720p, just keep it at that. But no, they just wanted to keep it casual. Then you started getting the HD TVs, the Xbox 360, PS3, and those systems were the big HD monsters, and the Wii just kind of like trailed off, especially the last 2 years where it didn't really have anything on the last 2 years of while it was out. So it was sad that I think Nintendo, in certain ways, they mismanaged because they created a great concept, but it was underpowered because it really showed how underpowered it was, especially those last 3 to 4 years of it by being out on the market. So. Like I said, it being HD would have probably gotten even more of the third party games because who wouldn't make games for a system that ended
What
up
is up,
selling
Switch player?
100 million? So yeah, so that's that was a pretty big deal. And yes, hey Switch player, hi, welcome to the chat. But Dantes, unless you have anything to say, this is the last thing before moving to our
So
favorite one.
let's go quickly. Let's get into the car and quickly drive to Shigeru's supermarket. Bill. So what are the games this week, Caleones?
Yes, so this week we had the releases of Chrono Clash, Fantasy Tactics, Unworthy, Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy, Paladin, Mages of Mistralia, Onigiri, Hyperride, Fishing Star World Tour, Drowning, Zombie Night Terror, Toridama Brave Challenge, Tangle Deep, Stray Cat Doors, Solitaire, Klondike, Black, Robotorium, Planetarian, Pixel Colors, New Star Manager, Necrosphere Deluxe, Merchants of Caden, Halcyon 6 Starbase Commander, Gabushi, Frio Sail Battle King, Egg, the platform puker, Dragon Mark for Dead Frontline Fighters, Dragon Mark for Dead Advanced Attackers, Downwell, Bombfest, Bleep Bloop, Arcade Archives, Mooncresta, Earhart Tales of Broken Wings, Agartha S, Wargroove, Thea the Awakening, spoiler alert, Shanky the Vegan's Nightmare, Farm Together, Asian Rush 2, and Dantes. This I can say without any reservations or anything like that. The game of the week is Wargroove. Wargroove, if you've missed playing games like Final Fantasy Tactics, jump on Wargroove. It is a really, really awesome, like tactical game. It is reminiscent of those, like PS1 era, strategy games, and it even has online, cross-platform in between the Nintendo Switch and the Xbox One. So Dantes, I'm actually reviewing the game right now for my Nintendo 64, playing through it. I played 2 online battles as well, and I'm having a lot of fun with the game. It's only $20, so if you have a chance to pick it up, go ahead and do so.
You don't
I'm
have
not sure.
footage?
Footage?
Yeah, put it in the channel.
Yes, I'll be putting it in the channel. I have it recorded. I just haven't uploaded it. But I don't know if you were a big Final Fantasy Tactics gamer. Probably not. I was.
Nah,
I
you
really
were
enjoyed that
more than
game,
that.
but
I'm not into that nerdy stuff.
it's not nerdy, so it's Final Fantasy. It had Final Fantasy on the title. But yes, it is a game that everybody should be picking it up if you're a fan of those series. Wargroove, great game.
Okay, let's end the show, Caleones, because I learned that the Patriots won. NFL sucks. I ain't watching next year. I'm joking. Anyway.
Okay. I'm just getting Baker Mayfield for this first time this year. I'm going to continue watching the NFL as long as he's the quarterback of the Browns. And I know you're going to watch it next year because the Colts are up and coming. Andrew Luck just won Comeback Player of the Year for the NFL awards. So you know that they're going to be back again.
Sure. Anyway, let's end this show. Really, really, really hate the Patriots, so they can suck it. Suck it! Anyway, there's some music there. I want to thank everybody who stopped. I want to thank everybody who stopped by and watched us tonight to the Get In and Get Out Nintendo podcast, episode 79, right here at the Force In Unison gaming channel. Please remember to subscribe, like, comment, and hit that bell. Please hit that bell. Also, you can get this podcast on SoundCloud and iTunes for free. Rate us over there so you can show some love. Also, tomorrow, hopefully, PlayStation Monday, if work allows me. But we're going to target that. Also, our Facebook page at Force In Unison Gaming. Finally, and then this says finally. Go to forceunison.wordpress.com and give some clicks and love to my boy Caleones. With all that said, thank you again for joining us. And long live it.